So in Estee Lauder's autobiography, it was called, I think, Estee, A Success Story. She recounts a pretty memorable event during a product launch in San Antonio, Texas. She was promoting her cosmetics line at a department store, and a Mexican woman with a gold tooth approached the cosmetics counter. And no one at the cosmetics counter knew what to do with this lady. She wasn't the typical customer, but the woman was curious about the products and seemed hesitant, yet felt out of place. And it was kind of like uncomfortable there for a second. So Estee Lauder, who was known for her really hands-on approach, she probably gave 100,000 people a facial in her career. I mean, just amazing. She said, she believes every woman deserves to be beautiful, invited the woman to sit down, offered her a makeover. And despite the woman's initial reluctance, Estee's warmth and personal touch really won her over. And after the makeover, the woman was so impressed by how she looked and felt by just having her face touched and being taken care of that she ended up buying two of every product that Estee Lauder had applied to her. And I think this story really illustrates, Estee Lauder's philosophy, and Estee Lauder has not been studied enough in my mind in the world of business. But she had this philosophy that beauty products are for everyone, and her ability to connect with customers on a personal level, no matter who they are or where they're from or where they came from, is absolutely important. And she had this real strong business sense and marketing sense. A lot of the practices you see in the cosmetics industry now were invented by her. But understanding the best way to sell her products was to let women experience them firsthand. Um, and it's a very large company, and it's now run by her family members. But the interesting thing is, I, we say in our mantras that we're customer obsessed, but how are we actually doing that? And so I got a CTA here, and I was thinking, so just take the big business, for example. There is if you don't watch yourself, if you don't have an internal dialogue, you'll think, oh, big integrations are just for large games and large IPs. That's not necessarily the case. If we make it scalable and we understand what we're doing, we could make it work for everybody. You know, Chanel was also a very famous lady in this industry. She had this very expensive thing called Chanel Number 5, and it was only bought by men who gave presents to, and it was applied like one drop at a time because it's very expensive. So Estee Lauder had a different take on that. She did youth lotion, and she put this nice smelling youth lotion, and she sold hundreds of millions of dollars worth of it in versus one by one small point. So there's a way to scale and touch people at the same time. And I think with every one of our whether it's Maz and how do we make the small guys feel like they're doing the best thing they could ever do with their monetization, their first game, second game, to people who
Thanks.
publish indie.
Fine.
I think there's a way to think about it for everybody. I'm really inspired by Estee Lauder. Thank you.